Hi artists, this is Miss Moomey back again with another art video. We're gonna make a fun fish today. If you don't recognize this fish in particular, it's from the book Rainbow Fish. And so I'm gonna give you the link to watch the book on YouTube as well as making a really cool fish today. So get ready, let's have some fun. Okie dokie, so what we need today is a pair of scissors, stick glue, crayons or markers or both, whatever you have around the house, a pencil, and either a paper plate or just some regular white paper will do. I also have some construction paper and colors if you have any construction paper. If not, we can do it in white, no big deal. So let's get started. Now, looking at the fish body, obviously fish don't have skin like we do. They have scales, and that is the texture of their body. So we want to create these scales first thing. So if you use a paper plate, you don't have to worry about what shape your body's going to be because you already have a circle. And that's what's so nice about using a paper plate. But I'm going to also show you how to draw the body on a piece of paper as well. Just in case you don't have a paper plate, and that's fine. Now, it has to be a paper plate, like a foam plate or a coated plate is going to make it really hard for you to color on. So I use the cheapest kind they have, the ones that are not coated. So just so you know what kind I've got. So, just in case you don't have a paper plate, there's two things you could do. First of all, you could put a plate down, any plate or any circle you have around the house, and trace it. That would be super easy. It may not be quite as big as your paper, but that's okay. You'd have a circle. Another way to make a cool fish body, they kind of tend to be kind of a football shape fish bodies are. So I'm going to show you how to draw that too, just in case you need that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a rainbow curve first. I want to make it as big as my paper because I want him to be a nice big fish. So curve like a rainbow. And then the next curve is going to go down like a smiley face. So I'm going to start at one end of that and curve down and over to the other side. That way I kind of get somewhat of a football shape. And that tends to be what the shape of a fish is. Without, of course, that's without the fins and the tail and everything. So this is just the basic shape. So either way, we need to establish where his face is going to be. If you can see that on my fish, it's the pink area in the front, and I broke it up with a wavy line. So let me show you how I did that first. I'll do it on the plate and on the paper, just in case, just for what you're using. I'm going to use a marker so you can see. I suggest using a pencil, and that way you can erase if you need to, okay? All right, so I'm going to draw from here. It didn't have to be a perfect line. I just need a kind of a curvy shape, almost kind of like an M, but I didn't go all the way down, just to show where his face is. I want more of the plate to be his body, so I didn't use half of the plate. I used less than half of the plate. So, and then same thing on this body. So I'm gonna go down, kind of like the top of a heart without going all the way down. So that way I can establish where his face is. All right, now this is a side view of a fish. Most of the rainbow fish in the book is side view because he's talking about his beautiful scales. So let's think about this as the face. And so if we're doing a side view, we're only gonna see one eye. So let's draw a circle. And then I like to just do a curve shape inside the circle, like this one. And then I colored part of it in and left a little bit of it white. Same thing on my plate. Notice I'm kind of going towards the top of this shape I've made. So a circle and a curve. Because we still have to add a mouth underneath it. So I don't want to put it smack dab in the middle or I won't have room for my mouth. Okay. All right, now for the important part, the scales. The scales are like smiley face lines. Curve, curve, curve. It's how you put them together that makes them look cool. So I'm just going to start on one end and work my way across. I don't want to go down here and move up here. I kind of want to create the pattern from one side to the other. That's how it works best. So I'm going to start with a smiley face, all the way till I get to the other side of my plate. And they may be a little messy at the top and the bottom where the rough edges are on the plate, but that's okay. Now, notice I've got all my little smiley faces. Now this time, I'm not gonna go right underneath that one. I'm gonna skip, and like I'm gonna go from hump to hump. So I'm gonna go curve from hump to hump, curve from hump to hump. That way, they look more layered. If you just do them on top of each other, it's gonna look like more of like a rainbow line, and that's not what we're trying to create. So, same thing again, I'm gonna go from hump to hump. So you're kind of like every other one almost. Hump to hump. And this is a pattern we're creating. And then you're gonna keep going with those shapes. I wanna do a few on the other fish too, just so you can see. I'm doing the same thing. Starting at the bottom, curve, curve. And like I said before, you can do this with a pencil, not a marker, and then go back with your marker if you want to. It just helps you if you need to erase. Make sure to go, even if you're making a half, make sure you go all the way from to the top or to the bottom. See how I'm going? And then I'm just creating those scales all the way across. So I'm stopping so that I can show you some more, but I want you to finish yours all the way to the end of your body or your plate. And then, of course, after you draw all these, you can color them in. Color your head whatever color you want it to be. The rainbow fish, of course, is rainbow colors, but he's mostly blues, purples, greens, and he's got a little pink on him, and maybe a little red. But, so I did his face pink, but you can do whatever color you want. And then I used a lot of blues and greens and then added a little lighter colors in there too, because I had some markers that were lighter. So we've got our body done. You work on your colored scales. You can stop the video here if you want to. And then let me show you, our next step will be adding the pieces that I cut. So you'll know how to do that. So if you need to stop and color your scales, go ahead and do that now. Okie doke. So now, once you get your fish finished coloring, if you made yours on paper, your first step is probably to go ahead and cut out your body. So it'll be cut out like the plate. So let's do that first, just so you understand how everything sits. Be very careful with your scissors, as always. Do not cut your hair, do not cut your clothes. Scissors are for paper. And if you need some help, ask mom or dad to help you. Put this out of the way. So, see, now I've got my fish body. If if you needed it on paper. All right, so I think the first shape we're going to start with is the mouth. Now, obviously, this shape looks kind of familiar, right? It looks like a heart. So we are going to cut a heart. Now, your easiest way, I'm taking just a small sheet of construction paper so I don't have to hold a big piece of paper, is to fold your small piece in half. Remember where the folded side is? We want to draw our heart on the folded side. Now, if you can draw a heart better all at one time, go right ahead. But, you know, some people need that help to not draw a whole heart. So, on the folded end, the folded side, I'm going to draw my heart. Now watch, I'm going to go hump, like a rainbow, then down. It almost makes kind of a V shape at the bottom. You see how I did that? Now, this may be a little big. You don't need a very big heart for his mouth. So, I'm going to keep my paper folded. And because I'm on the folded side of the paper, I only want to cut from one end of the black to the other end of where I drew. Don't go all the way through. So, let me show you what I'm talking about. So, I'm going to cut my shape, curve around, and back to the fold, and stop. That way, when I open it, I have a nice heart shape. Now, my heart might have been a little bit smaller on my other fish. It's up to you. If you don't want it that big, just go back and cut it again. On the inside of that heart, just cut it again. Like that. That's how you make it smaller. And then, once you're done coloring, make sure you're done coloring before you glue it on. You're going to glue your heart shape just barely under your eye on the edge of the paper plate. Or, if you're using the other piece, on the end of your fish. Like that. Cute, right? See, here's mine finished. Okay, now a fish has a tail that helps him propel himself through the water, and then he's got these fins that kind of keep him in direction. So he's got one on top and some smaller ones on the bottom. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to do the tail first. You can pick, of course, any color you want. I'm just using what works best with my fish I've made, the colors I've chosen. I took one big piece of construction paper, so this was one whole piece. I folded it in half, and so I've got half of a sheet, and then I even folded it again and cut it again. That way I've got a piece for my tail, a piece for one fin, and a piece for the other fin. Okay, so let's start with the big tail because it is really probably the easiest shape. Let me give you some so you can see better. There we go. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw from my edge. I'm just going to come out, come on up some, and come out the same way. Can you see that okay? And then I'm gonna connect those, but I kind of want to dip in the middle. So I'm gonna go in and back out. See? Pretty easy, right? All right, so we've got that shape. That's our tail, and we want to cut it. Now, if you want to get rid of your pencil lines, cut inside the lines. This kind of thing bugs me, so I like to cut the black lines off as I go. But you might like that, so, you know, it's up to you. It's your fish. You make them look as cool as you can. All right, so now, here's my plate. Here's my tail. The flat end obviously goes behind the plate. You put some glue on the top, stick it behind the plate, and you've got your tail. See? we're gonna dazzle that up a little bit in a minute too. All right, and so we've got the top fin and the bottom fin now to do. Let me show you my tail on my first one. See how I glued it to the back of the plate so that that edge wouldn't show. Okay, now, put that off to the side. Now I've got 2 pieces ready for my top fin and bottom fin. So let's do the top one first. Notice it's a little taller and just has 1 point where the tail has 2 points. So it's kind of like a triangle. Let me try a bigger marker and see if it shows better. Uh-oh. I'm so good at making a mess. All right, so this time I'm going to start on the short side on the bottom, and I'm going to go up. I'm going to curve up, and then I'm going to curve back down. But on this one, it's a little bit straighter down. So the first curve kind of goes over and then back down. You see that okay? All right, so that's the top fin. The bottom fin is going to be about the same thing but smaller. So I'll start at the top of it so you can understand. So it's going to go curve. See, this is a really simple curve. And then curve. Notice that these 2 curves go the same direction. Okay. And if they're not perfectly drawn, it's okay, because you're going to cut them out anyway, and you may not like the line you have, so you can just take the line off. So I'm going to cut my bottom fin. Like that. And I'm going to cut my top fin. Now, I've noticed a lot of videos or pictures on Facebook and other social media where a lot of you have been going fishing while you're out of school right now because the weather is perfect for it. So that was kind of part of what inspired me to do this fish project today. Okay, so got my tail that we did a while ago to glue underneath. This is the bottom fin. Just remember to glue it under your fish. It's the main thing. It goes about the center of the bottom. And then my other fin goes at the top. And it goes about center. Okay? All right. Now, how did I make my fins look so sparkly and dazzled? Well, first of all, I couldn't find any glue at home. All I had was glitter paint, so I had to use glitter paint. If you have some glitter, I know moms don't necessarily like glitter around the house, so, you know, I understand that. But if you do have some glitter, what you'll do is take your white glue and put glue on top of your scale. Like that. Then you'll shake your glitter on top of that, and then shake off your excess onto something that you can capture your glitter with, and then you'll have a shiny spot. So of course mine was a little easier than that because it is glue. It's paint. So I just took my brush and I painted it right on. Now at the end of the story, he only has a couple of shiny sequins left, shiny fin scales left. So I might make one more just so you can see how I just put my glitter paint. It's kind of goopy right onto my scale. But I did it individually because not all of his scales are glittery by the end. Then what I also did to make it look a little more fancy with my fins, I kind of went back over it with my blue, my dark blue marker around the edge, even though I cut it off a while ago. I probably shouldn't have. And kind of gave it a little more dimension by adding a little depth. And I also took some crayon. I used, let's see, I used a purple go. And I just added a little bit of purple, a little bit down the middle of my fin to break it up some, so it wasn't just all one blue color. And you could do that with your darker blue, and you could also add a little white. It just breaks it up so it's not all one color. If you had some chalk pastel, that would look awesome on these. But I figured you probably didn't have any of those at home, so or you could use sidewalk chalk probably too. So anyway, and then I took my glitter and I put a little glitter on my fins too, so that they would be sparkly, because he looks pretty darn sparkly, that rainbow fish. So I hope that your fish turned out just the way you like it, and I hope you enjoyed our video today. I really love this book, Rainbow Fish. I hope you'll go and watch it. It's all about kindness and sharing, and in our world right now, that's what we need most, wouldn't you say, is kindness, since we're kind of stuck together right now, and it's hard when you're around people for a long time. So anyway, I love you guys, and I miss you, and I can't wait to see you again, and hopefully I'll be back with another video. I know we don't have much of school left, so I hope everything's going great with you guys, and I will see you soon. Now make sure to check out the read aloud of the rainbow fish on YouTube.